Hi everyone, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It is originally created for Monday the 13th of February. It is not solely set for that date. If you're seeing it on a different date and it makes sense to whatever you're going through or feeling, by all means utilize the reading. If it doesn't make sense, that's okay. Nothing's wrong. You're not on the wrong path or making the wrong choices. You might be working on something different. This just may not be your reading, so don't worry about that. I do believe readings are timeless and they find us when we need them, so keep that in mind. What else was I going to say? I will be referring back to the Sunday underpinning reading, which is the reading that is the underpinning energy. That video populates in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this video, so keep that in mind if you want to see, if you hear me speaking about cards that you don't see present. You can always watch that video. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath any of my videos. In there are some housekeeping rules, things I want you to think about when utilizing the channel, what decks I'm using, how to follow me on social media, and request a private reading. Know that I will never solicit you for one, and easy ways to support the channel. One way that you can do that is hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, leave me a question or comment, or share the video out. All of those things greatly help me to grow the channel. So just a little aside from my regular viewers, I have saged the decks for this new week, just because I want to see if that brings about some new energy. We'll see what the cards are when they come out. I'm going to give it one more shuffle. Okay, I'm a little afraid of this Fountainhead deck. Okay, I'll take it. It's the Queen of Coins. I love her. She's beautiful. Queen of Pentacles. She is in some serious thought. The first thing that I think about her when I see this card is that Two of Pentacles that's in the Sunday reading at the end of the week, that decision that needs to be made, that decision where that hand was reaching up out of the water, where we're like almost, I don't want to say struggling, but we're reaching beyond how we feel or beyond what we thought the outcome needed to be and making a choice. You know, the Two of Pentacles is oftentimes about juggling between two different options. And even though those options seemed fair in the depiction of the Two of Pentacles, to me I feel like this is her contemplating that choice now early in the week, if that makes any sense. Like this is like a foreshadowing in a way. Now underpinning this in the Sunday reading is our good friend the Fountain. And I was a little nervous we were going to see that card today, so that's why I kind of Palo Santo'd the decks to make sure that we got some new energy in there. But I feel like the Queen of Pentacles is the most grounded of the queens, the most discerning, the most, I don't want to say serious, but she's going to take things from a very practical level, right? She's going to look at things through very practical, discerning eyes, not taking things for granted, not sort of measuring out all of her options. It's that sort of a thing that I'm getting from her, that contemplation on her face. Excuse me, I'm still a little sick. I don't feel that this does not feel like a bad card to me. It feels, the energy on this card today feels very serious, very contemplative, seriously taking a look at things from a very kind of practical place as to how we move this forward, right? She's a queen, so she's connected to the emotions, right? We are taking our emotions into account, but we're also taking in the Pentacles aspect into account, which is our 3D well-being, what's best for our, the aspects of our life materially and physically, right? She's going to want to nurture and protect that and take care of that. She represents the earth sign energy of Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. We could be dealing with one of those signs today that could have information for us or assistance for us in that way. But whatever's going on here, we're looking at how do we manifest this from a place that's like healthy. I oftentimes see both the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles as cards of self-care, right? Stopping to nurture ourselves, To me, though, she feels deep in thought. She's looking at the past and thinking about, okay, how does what I've learned or what I've been through indicate what I need to experience or do to create a better future? Remember, the Queen of Pentacles is going to be a master manifester. She's going to know what she wants and how to go about getting it. She may not move fastest in the deck, right? But she's moving from a place that's very much honorable, nurturing, mothering. She's also a symbol of fertility, right, and abundance. So I think that we have to remember that where we put our focus is what we create more of, and I think that's what she's learning in this card. The fountain underpinning this reminds us to just be where we're at, but also I get this, like, the word in my head is like she's taking inventory, taking stock, and okay, well, that's where I've been, that's what happened, that's what I've learned. How do I practically apply this to oncoming situations or new beginnings, right? The green color around her, this deep dark green, obviously, I say this all the time, it takes me to the heart chakra, and it takes me to a place of healing. The decisions or the things that we're contemplating or taking inventory around could be very healing for us. They might feel a bit murky. That's the deep, deep, dark, dark green. But the Queen of Pentacles is sort of not, I keep saying she's nurturing. She is nurturing and mothering, but she's also strong, right? She's grounded, she's centered, she's going to walk us through whatever it is we have to look at today to understand what we need to do maybe differently, or what choices we may need to change in our day-to-day life in the 3D realm that are no longer working for us. So I do feel like she's empowered, but I almost feel like today is a day of reflection or contemplation about, okay, what physical changes do I need to make? And the other reason why I say that is because in the Sunday reading, the midweek card is that Nine of Swords, which means to affect change in the 3D, we have to affect first the changes in our emotions and pay attention to those things, which the Queen would be connected to. But then also we have to allow those feelings and our awarenesses around them to transform and change our thoughts or our fears. And we have that Nine of Swords in the midweek where we are dealing with that. And then, like I said, at the end of the week is the Two of Pentacles, which says to me we will be willing to make that choice. The Queen is going to be the one that's going to rule over that choice or prompt us to make that choice. I think we're in a very safe space, a very serious space. This is a serious matter to me, is what I feel like. And I don't mean serious in a bad way. It's just a very important matter that requires our attention and deserves our attention and care. And so the Queen is here to do that very job. Now let's look at the healing mantra card, and it is Dispelling Sadness. Reminds me of a cup of coffee. And then, I love the next card. I'm just going to show it to you. After we dispel that sadness, we get to greet wellness. So I really like that, how those two came out together. I feel better once I get the rest I need. So that to me right there, and the Queen of Pentacles, says to me there might be some physical body stuff we need to look at. Because I do associate her with self-care, but this idea of getting the rest that I need, that could be mental rest, emotional rest, physical rest, or all of the above. This Queen could be demanding that of us. Not demanding that, but calling that into being for us so that we are ready to make that decision in the latter part of the week. Keep in mind to listening to her sort of like solid advice, and this is, when I say her solid advice, I'm saying, like, it could be solid advice coming from within us regarding our self-care right now, regarding our rest, our rejuvenation, our ability to kind of recharge so that we're ready for the remainder of the week and what's about to come. The Queen of Pentacles is going to set up a nice space for us to almost maybe recover physically and mentally and even emotionally or spiritually, so that we can prepare ourselves to deal with that Nine of Swords in the midweek. And we also saw Seven of Swords in the clarifiers, right? And remember, after we dispel the sadness, we get to greet the wellness. So that's a good thing. I feel better when I get the rest I need. When sadness dissolves, you are able to acknowledge upheavals of emotion as profound healings taking place. As a result, you are inspired to give your body the rest and rejuvenation it needs, rather than to push yourself into states of imbalance. As you dissolve sadness, you become aware of the vital role downtime plays in helping you recharge your energy field. This mantra is ideal for dealing with depression, fighting against time, and learning how to relax. I love this because it says here, what's that line that I just liked? As you dissolve sadness, you become aware of the vital role downtime plays in helping you recharge your energy field. And the Queen of Pentacles is that sort of, to me, that recharge. She understands what it means to sort of take each step slow and stay grounded, slow things down, really map out a plan, not only in our physical or emotional healing, but also, how that plan and that healing or that downtime can help to recharge us so that we can manifest more of what it is that we do want in our life rather than things that we don't. When we're running ourselves ragged, we may not necessarily see exactly the plan or the steps that need to be taken, and that's when we can kind of take maybe missteps. Remember, the fountain reminds us to just kind of connect and be, and allow ourselves to understand that we are part of the universe, and everything that goes on around us or happens as we perceive it happening to us, there's a reason for it, right? So the Queen would understand that also. Let's go to the clarifiers. We have the Nine of Swords, which I've been mentioning, and that was our midweek card. So there's that fear is already beginning to creep in. We have the Seven of Wands, and we have the Ace of Cups. So renewal is ours. This is a challenge. Today is not the challenging day, is my feeling, but we understand the challenge is present. We understand because the Nine of Swords shows up here, and we saw the Nine of Swords in the Sunday reading as the midweek kind of big card, right? The Queen, to me, reminds us to settle ourselves, to ground, even if we're in the face of fear, worry, anxiety, fatigue, tiredness. This is about pulling ourselves back in, looking at ourselves from a very practical place and going, okay, what is it that I need? Remember, queens deserve the world. They are going to give themselves what they need when they need it, and the Queen of Cups is no exception to that. If we find ourselves with fears in the background, like, oh, what if I take a day off, or if I just check out for the day, or whatever, if that creates fear, worry, anguish inside of us, we need to listen more to the idea of that self-care rather than the fear and the worry. The Seven of Wands indicates about like holding our space, towing the line, backing up what we have to know to be true in our own spirit, right? There is a sort of a sense of success with the Seven of Wands, but there is like maybe a struggle or a fight that comes with it. There is a little bit, with the Seven of Wands and the Nine of Swords here, to me, it says that we might be exhausted, some of us. I'm raising my hand right now as I'm saying that, because I certainly have been exhausted. But there might still be some exhaustion playing in the background, just because at the level of spirit and at the mental level, we have some struggles going on. They're not insurmountable. The Nine would indicate coming to an end of this negative thinking, but because we see the Nine of Swords in the midweek card, it means that it's not just going to go away after today. We're going to be dealing with it for the next couple of days, but that's okay. We're coming to an end with it. We'll find a solution around it. Seven of Swords indicates that we want to defend our stance, keep a hold of our spirit, keep hold of our position, our belief, not necessarily in a sense of fighting with others, but in just remaining true to what we know to be true to ourselves. Remember, that helps us to dispel the sadness and then to greet the wellness. The wellness to me is the Ace of Cups. This Ace of Cups indicates emotional rebirth. I don't want to say that it's by surprise, because I feel like with the Queen of Pentacles there and these two cards here, it's like we do the work, we get the reward, we get the rebirth, we get the rejuvenation, and that's the cup pouring forward. That's the cup being handed to us by, what was our grounding stone for the week? By spirit. whether it's our guides or our God, or it's our own higher self giving us this rejuvenation. It is coming from on high or from a place of spirit. That's the hand and the purity of the white dove. But there's a peace. There's a sense of renewal that comes from doing this work. We have to be willing to face it, though. The Queen of Pentacles is a strong broad, excuse me, I don't mean to call her a broad, but I get this real serious strength from her. She can deal with adversity. She can face adversity in a very calm, cool, collected manner. And so for us today, if we are struggling mentally or spiritually with something, that's okay. We need to just ground, be discerning. Is this something that I need to deal with immediately, or is this something that I can take piece by piece? The Queen is going to walk us through that step by step. Our own Queen of Pentacles nature is going to take us through that by the hand, step by step, making the correct decisions, not moving too quickly, and leading ourselves towards the dispelling of the sadness and towards, ideally, again, I'm going to show you this again because it comes right after. Once you dispel the sadness, you get to greet the wellness. And that's the Ace of Cups that's coming to us, that we worked for, that we deserve, that we, created ultimately for ourselves through our actions. Now let's go to the grounding stone. Okay, and the grounding stone is promise. I always say there's two meanings with promise for me. The promise is like, I feel like this is making a promise to ourselves to heal, to dispel the sadness, to ground ourselves, to look at our negative thoughts or where our worries are at and watch how they limit us, and maybe be willing to work with them or acknowledge them so that we can release them. It's also the promise that we make to ourselves to defend our position spiritually, or what we know to be true, with that Seven of Wands there. The promise comes in differently when we see the Ace of Cups, because it's like this world full of promise, opportunity, renewal, rejoice. Those kind of terms come into my mind, and that becomes more like the idea of the promised land, right? All of the promise that could be within a situation or within a relationship or within ourselves that we can produce from giving ourselves this time to self-care, to dispel this sadness. If we have to sit in this sadness for a minute, that's okay. That's the Nine of Swords, right? But it's not, I don't feel like we're going to be defeated. I feel like we're actually reaching, not an end point, but we're reaching an awareness where if we don't do this work, we just sort of stay stuck in it and continue to fight, or continue to be let down, or continue to be disillusioned, whatever it is that you're experiencing. We don't have to today. We can make that promise to ourselves to care for ourselves and to see ourselves through this in such a way that we have to do the hard work, but the gifts and the rewards and the renewal is well worth it. And that's kind of where this opportunity is full of promise for us, for change, rejuvenation, and a resetting of our course, so to speak. That is your forecast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. By all means, please hit that thumbs up button, share the video out, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a question or comment. I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow to see how this energy may change. Let me know if these readings are resonating for you this week. All right, take care and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.